Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to film a look using some new products that I've got. I popped some moisturiser and SPF on this morning and then eyebrows and a tiny coat of mascara, so I'm just going to leave that on and just go straight on with my base makeup. So I've got a bunch of new products. I've got some Kat Von D, NYX, Rimmel, Urban Decay. I've not tried any of them yet, so it will be interesting. I also received this, which I shared on my Instagram. By the way, this isn't sponsored, I'm just showing you because I love it. I received this little travel pouch. There's a company called MUSE Beauty Pro and they have created ESUM Cosmetics. And ESUM Cosmetics is a luxury professional makeup brand, but also for makeup lovers. And inside, all these beautiful brushes, and we've also got some pinky puffs. It's a little puff that goes on your finger, so when you're working on other people as a makeup artist or yourself, you can rest your finger on the face without disturbing the base makeup, so it's really good when you're doing eye makeup. So we've got some pinky puffs in there, face puffs, and then some pro sponges. So I love this because obviously I do a lot of travelling and I take my makeup kit with me. So I'll link that below if you're interested in looking at it. Obviously as a professional makeup artist, those kind of little things really excite me, so I thought I would share it. So I've got the Rimmel Lasting Radiance Foundation. This contains an SPF of 25. It says it's a medium coverage anti-pollution foundation, and I have the colours True Ivory and Soft Beige. So to apply the foundation, I'm going to go in with the Real Techniques 200 Expert Face Brush. Oh, actually that one works really well. That one is 103 True Ivory. And normally those kind of shades are too light for me, but it actually works really well. I can't really pinpoint what it is, but it has got a fragrance. It's quite a light medium coverage. It's very lightweight, which is nice, and it blends onto the skin really well. So that's one layer. Let's build it up a little bit and see if we can get it a bit more full coverage. Doesn't look at all cakey. I'm not a fan of the shine, but that's just me because I'm oily, so. Although it does contain an SPF of 25, you're still going to want to put your own SPF on. It's not going to give you enough SPF to stop you from aging from the sun or burning. So looking at the ingredients, I'll say this is a silicone based foundation. So if you do want to wear a primer with it, you will need to apply a silicone based primer. If you apply a water based primer, you're going to find that they don't mix well together and that they separate. So if you'd like to know a little bit more information about that, I do have a video on it. It's really quick and I've just kind of broken it down. That's really easy for you to understand. But overall, that's really nice. I've not used a primer and it's not enhancing any kind of pores or any kind of blemishes or anything. It's covered everything really well and it's a really nice coverage. And you can't really see it sitting on the skin like some foundations. Rimmel have also brought out Lasting Radiance concealers. I'm not going to use those because I actually have some by NYX that I want to use. I'm going to move on to eye makeup and come back to complexion after I've done my eyes. And for eyes, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette. I'm not sure how I feel about the actual casing because it's spongy, and this is just going to absorb any kind of makeup that sits in your makeup bag. You know when the bag gets kind of grubby, this is just going to pick all that up because it's quite spongy. But I do really like the colours. So this is the palette. I've actually swatched this on my Instagram. It is in my highlights, so if you want to go and check that out, you are more than welcome. So this palette has 12 new shades for Urban Decay and they are all neutral. The first colour I'm taking is called Blur, which is a pale peachy beige. To apply this, I'm using the ESUM G29 Medium Shadow Brush. You won't believe how soft this brush is, it's incredible. So I'm taking that colour all over the lid, even underneath the lower lashes, and this is to absorb any moisture from the foundation. I'm now going to create a shape using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. Now you can see a little bit of a peachy tone on my eyes because I was going to create a different look and then I changed my mind. Using this flat brush and the concealer, I'm creating a cut crease above my natural socket line, and then I'm also going to lift the eye by creating a wing on the outer edge. Creating this shape with the concealer first gives us a guide on the skin. It also gives the eyeshadow something to stick to, and as the concealer itself is lighter than my skin tone, it's going to allow that peachy colour that I'm going to use to look more true to the colour in the pan, rather than looking a little bit more muted as it would on my natural skin tone. My favourite colour in the whole palette is called Retro. That's the colour we're going to go in with next, and this is a pinky coral shade. I'm using the ESUM W23 Medium Filbert shader. Using a flat brush like this is going to allow us to pack that pigment on top of the concealer. And as the eyeshadow is a matte finish, we want it to be as even as possible, so I find using a patting motion allows us to get an even coverage to begin with, and then we can use a swiping motion to blend over the top. I'm using my 317 Winged Liner brush by ZOEVA to create a really sharp edge with the eyeshadow. So I'm taking it up to the very edge of the concealer and just making sure it looks nice and crisp and clean. My advice is to lay your brush down at the very edge and then pull your brush downwards onto the lid. That way you're not going to take the eyeshadow any higher than you're supposed to. Can we just appreciate how beautiful this eyeshadow is? It's such a gorgeous colour. It's not super duper pigmented, but you get a nice colour payoff, and in terms of this particular palette, it's definitely my favourite colour in there. Next I'm going in with Burn, which is kind of like a soft reddish bronze. Although this has a metallic finish to it, we're not going to notice that by the time we finish. I'm just using this as a transition between the peach shade and the brown that I'm going to be using. I want this to be more of a matte finish, and although there are other matte shades that we could use, they weren't the right tone. And I'm dulling that down with my brush with retro on it. The deepest shade in the palette is called Endgame, and this is a dark brown. And I've slowed this right down for you so you can see the angle that I'm going for. You need to imagine as if my lower lash line had an invisible line that continued up at the angle. That's the line that we're going for. So I'm using my Winged Liner brush by ZOEVA to create that line. Then using the very tip of that brush, as we pull the colour back towards the eyelid, we are slightly thickening that wing and then we're creating a bit of a scallop shape. And so it connects with the peachy tone we've already created on the lid. We should be following our concealer guide. And that's why we outline it with concealer first, because it's easy to remove if you make a mistake, but it's also less easy to spot if there's a mistake. So I've filled the wing in with the eyeshadow, and using what's left on the bristles, I'm pulling that brown and feathering it over onto the peach tone that we've already applied. Although you won't really see that shimmery shade, it does work really well at helping you to blend two matte eyeshadows together. Because it's a bit more silky than the powdery form that a matte eyeshadow gives you, it allows you to blend the colours easier. I hope that makes sense. Going back in with your brush that has the retro shade on and patting that over the top is going to help you to create a nice ombre effect. It will soften the gradient between the two shades. Using that same brown and the brush, I'm taking that underneath those lower lashes, and I'm also creating a bit of a feline flick at the very inner corner, but dropping it a millimetre or two lower than the tear duct area. Along the waterline, I'm using ZOEVA's Black to Earth Kohl Pencil. Next I'm taking Cherry Soda from my Matte and Metal Melted Eyeshadow by Huda Beauty, and using my 331 Lip Precision brush by ZOEVA, I'm applying this to the area between the tear duct, and then I'm also tracing the outline of the eyeshadow with the very tip of the bristles. This is beautifully reflective, and it's just a really nice way to add a special touch to the look. Now I'm going in with this Kat Von D Dagger Tattoo Eyeliner. This has a slightly angled tip which allows you to create a different shape if you want to. I'm lining all the way across the top of the eyelid and then tracing the wing on the outer edge, thickening that up ever so slightly, and this is going to help to define the wing and make it look a little bit more intense. Off camera I'm applying some mascara and these Forces by Prima Lash called Vein. Okay, so I'm going to move back onto the face. I have created something that's probably not too wearable, which is this kind of ombre wing. It's just a bit of fun. Moving on to the skin, I'm going to use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer to kind of add some dimension to the skin. I'm going to pop this around the hairline as well, and a little bit down the sides of the nose. And I'm going to use the foundation brush that I use because it's already got product in the bristles, so this is going to help to kind of blend the product in. You might want to start with a bit of a stipple motion first, rather than just going straight in and kind of creating a bit of a mess. We want to keep the concealer in the area that we've applied it, and then just kind of softly blend it out. Once you've stippled it out, you can then use soft circular motions to blend the rest out. That way the majority of the product's been blended in the area that we want it, and now we're just softening the edges. I'm switching to a pencil brush to work in the contour down the sides of the nose. I'm going to take a lighter shade underneath my eyes. I'm going to buff that in with my IT Cosmetics brush. This is the number 7. The nice thing about this brush is you've got the smaller end that you can blend the concealer in with, and then you can just turn it over and pat the rest in with the bigger side of the brush. These really are full coverage concealers. They are a little bit on the thick side and they do tend to set in place quite quickly, so you do have to work with them as quick as you can. So it's one of those concealers that once it's in place you can't really see it going anywhere. As we've got Peachy on the eyes, I'm going to use my Delilah blush in the shade Dusk. I'm going to use the other side of my IT Cosmetics brush again, just to pop this on. For lips, I'm going to use my Sexy Balm by L'Oreal. This is in Sheer 102 Gossip and it's my absolute favourite, and I only have a tiny bit left. And this is a peach tone, so again it's just going to kind of match in with the colours that we've got on the face. Now this is just a balm with a wash of colour. It just adds a little bit of vibrancy to the lips and it's just easy to top up, and yeah, it just keeps them feeling really hydrated. I think the battery on my microphone might have just died, so the rest of this might be without microphone now, sorry. I completely understand this look won't be for everybody. I know it's not an everyday kind of look, but it is just a little bit fun and that's what makeup's about. So I thought I would create something that's a little bit different, something that I haven't done for a little while. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As usual, I love to talk to you guys and hear from you. And Tommy's being really loud downstairs, so I'm sorry if this is picking up. So far he's boiled the kettle, shut the door, flushed the toilet, made all sorts of noises. So please subscribe if you haven't already done so. I upload every Sunday and I am trying to upload once more in the week. All the products I've used will be listed and linked in the description bar. If you'd like to follow me outside of YouTube, I'll put my social handles on screen at the beginning of the video, and if I remember I'll put them on the end. Thank you for watching and I'll see you again soon. Bye!